now, we're going to repeat a lot of the cycles. So it's an area where we're really working. One other area is that we recognize how critical it is for women who have been enduring circumstances of violence in all its forms to have immediate support. And from a policing point of view, we're committed to giving that early and often in a different way than we've been able to before. And again, that relies on partners, but we're starting to expand that so that when women are in a situation such that they find themselves in need of that support, they're getting it early and often, and we're helping to make sure that that's occurring, including from the police. So those are my thoughts I just want to share from the Abbotsford Police Department. Again, I want to say congratulations to everybody involved in organizing today. Keep the message strong and alive, and keep the actions going. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rick. And like Rick said, it does take a community to initiate any types of programming, and I'm glad to see all the partnerships that the police department is reaching out towards. Now is kind of an interesting time. We'd like you to be able to ask questions of Romana and Rick, and as well as share stories if you like. Obviously, we're not here for the whole night, but so keep it brief if you want to share something with us. We'll bring Romana back on stage and have her answer some questions, maybe for about 20 minutes. If you don't mind telling us who you are, it's fine. If you don't want to identify who you are, that's fine as well. But keeping it in context on today's discussion, any inspiration that you might want to share, we'd love to hear from you as well. So just stand where you are and we'll mediate the dialogue, all right? So I know the first brave person that stands up and asks a question gets a chocolate bar. I know this refers to brave people in this audience for sure. Yes, please go ahead.
I'm calling for Christine Mann. I'm here with my associate. I've got a very special friend that has been denied a lawyer. She just left a 32-year, very abusive relationship. She left with nothing. She was 84 pounds when she got to Christine Mann, and they've been helping her. But her husband has all the assets. She's been denied a lawyer. I was wondering if we could get a card and maybe UBC law students could perhaps help her. And she's filed for the divorce papers and that he's refusing to show his income. And he's got a lot of hired people on his side. Maybe some students would be interested in helping her and some other people to gain some experience.
So the question is, should they have a client who has been denied access to legal service? So yes. She's wondering if UBC or other institutions have a free legal service that could be available to this woman, or
law students.
Or law students.
We do have like LSLAP, like Law Students Legal Advice Program at UBC, and it's most of my peers, well, I don't have time don't have time to join that, but most of my peers, they have joined there, and then they have amazing stories. They're encountering amazing people as well. So I think LSLAP will be one of our options, and she can really contact and they have different outlets in different parts in Vancouver. But the best way to communicate with LSLAP, it is called LSLAP, and it's Law Students Legal Advice Program. And it's our official channel, where you can get direct legal advice from students. And of course, they work under a certified lawyer, so it's the best way to get legal advice on that respect.
Thank you very much. It's been very helpful, and I enjoyed your journey.
Thank you.
Dorothy. Dorothy in the back, and then go ahead, Dorothy.
Just wanted to also add that we have a free legal booth at Women's Resource Society of Fraser Valley, both in Abbotsford and Mission, on a monthly basis, and we thank our legal partners who volunteer their time. And please, if anybody wants to volunteer, to add those and lawyers.
Thank you. Go ahead.
My name's Rocky. I'm president of New Beginnings Therapy. I'm an expert on quantum physics and the science of emotional energy. And I want to offer a gift to the police officer at Urbana. I want to offer you my knowledge and how your speech tied in directly into exactly how to express emotional energy shifts and change on this planet, which make a huge impact. So I want to share that gift with you, and I'll talk to you later.
Okay, thank you so much.
Go ahead.
Hi, I want to thank you for your inspiration. I was abused sexually as a child and abused emotionally throughout my marriage, trying to leave the person who abused me. And your inspiration is awesome. It's hard to get up every day and face a bully. He's using my mental health issues against me. He's taken out a false restraining order based on things that didn't even happen. And when you do have a history of mental illness, it is held against you. So I've lost my children, I've lost my home, I've lost everything, and I continue to fight, and you are an inspiration. Thank you so much.
In Richmond, there's a place called the Revitalize Health Center, and the gentleman there and I met this week, and he is creating a non-profit foundation, which he has the ability to track millions of dollars of resources to help women in particular who are financially destitute receive alternative healing resources to help them deal with exactly the kinds of things this woman was talking about. So that's being created right now.
Thank you for sharing. Yes, Viv.
I wanted to ask the question of how can we make it safer for abused women to come forward to report? How do we do that?
Okay, so I guess Vivian's saying if we can both respond, but I'll respond first if that's okay. So the question was, how can we make it safer for women to come forward? When I made mention of the sort of this support aspect that we're working hard to figure out how to do much better, the research and all that we're learning is that is a huge piece of the puzzle, and probably in many ways the most important piece. And so the idea that from the very early stages, a person, a woman in that situation has some way of knowing that when they choose to come forward, that is going to happen is where we're trying to get to. So just one small example on that. Last year, within the context of our plan for last year, we did an awful lot of work in terms of trying to get outreach and messaging around this into the community. So we did set a goal for ourselves to see, and please let me explain this one, we wanted to see the number of incidents of domestic violence reported to the police increase last year by 20%. The goal there was to give us some indicator that perhaps Abbotsford at least was getting healthier in terms of women being in a position to come forward. Of course, you don't want that to continue to grow for all the obvious reasons, but we did end up with 17% increase last year in reports of domestic violence. And I'm not going to for a moment say that's an amazingly happy moment, but in the context of us trying to have more people come, more women come in to report things, we take some value out of that. So Kevin and his team And part of what we're working on this year is to get that message out further, that not just from the police, but beginning with the police, because not every matter in terms of taking steps is going to necessarily involve the police. But those that do, there will be support from the police and whatever partners we need to involve. And then also getting the message out, which is part of why I'm congratulating people involved, Women's Resource Society, others who are saying to women, there is support here, do something, and we are here to help you, and we will help you from the very start. There's a gap, often it has been a gap in the past between coming forward and the next thing that happens to support the woman. And so it's trying to keep that support in place right from the start. So that's where we're working. So.
Rick, as I told you, like, I guess you and your team is giving me hope. And so, yeah, I know that it's not very happy moment, but at the same time, it's a very hopeful moment, I would say, because if this is where change is coming from, we are welcoming that change, and I'm so proud that you are doing it. Thank you so much. And like how we can, so that is one of the reasons why I decided not to wait till I receive my law degree, that because I felt that having, as I said earlier, like having encountered personal, like domestic violence personally, and then having a first-hand experience with violence, I felt that I was someone who every woman could trust and share their story and share it without any hesitation, and they would think that I will be able to understand their pain. So that is one of the reasons, like we need to create that trust that if they share their story, then they won't be in trouble. Trouble will be like, challenges will be there, like when I decided to let everything out and shared my story, my domestic violence story, years of violence stories with the press. That's when my ex-husband and his family, and they're still doing it, like they're saying that she can see, she's pretending, she got married to her boyfriend, and then she's having a blast in Canada, so, and then she's just pretending and just telling making up all these stories, and it's still going on. But you know, you can't bite the dog who's barking at you, so just to remember that. And then, yeah, these challenges will be there, but we are strong enough to face those challenges. Don't ever think we are weak. We are not. And then don't let anyone else decide how you are going to live your life. So there is always an alternative. When we are in a very oppressed relationship, that lowers our self-esteem, and that happened to me as well. And we don't see any alternative ways of living. And don't let that happen. There is always an alternative way. And I realized it after I lost sight. I don't want any other women to go through similar experience what I went through. It is hard. It is hard not being able to see your daughter when she is growing up. So you have to be, we are strong. And if we can digest that, we can digest any challenges. And now challenges can be a hurdle. So be strong. We have to be it needs to be vice versa, like at the same time, like the society needs to build that trust, and at the same time women needs to be strong because we are strong to share their stories. Thank you.
Any last questions? Yes.
My name is Nicole Haney. I want to say that I really appreciate your experience because as a First Nations young woman, It's very, very rare to see a First Nations woman who has not been abused. Even though I don't like First Nations, I know that. And none of which I have escaped, such as sexual and physical violence. And I believe that though I've been through these experiences, the only way to improve the violence towards women and the situation is through compassion, love, and understanding, as well as education. I feel that this is the only way that we can get through, and it's the only way you can actually get through any type of social change, is through compassion. Is where you can make the most difference. And I ask for your permission to use the podium so I can say a poem. Yes. Pretty woman, wonder where my secret lies. I am not cute or built to suit a fashion model size. But when I start to tell them, they think I am telling lies. I say, it's in the reach of my arms. It's in the span of my hips. It's in the stride of my step. I am a phenomenal woman. I walk into a room as cool as you please. And too many of the fellows stand or fall to their knees. Then they swarm around me, a hive of honeybees. I say, it's in the fire of my eyes. It's in the flash of my teeth. It's in the swing of my waist and the joy in my feet. I am a woman, phenomenally a woman. Men themselves have wondered what they see in me. They try so much, but they can't reach my inner mystery. When I try to show them, they say they still can't see. I say it's in the arch of my back. It's the sun in my smile. It's the ride of my breast and the grace of my smile. I am a woman, phenomenally a woman. That's me. Now you understand why my head is not bowed. I don't shout, I don't jump about, or have to talk real loud. When you see me passing, it ought to make you proud. I say it's in the click of my heels, the bend in my hair, the palm of my